Southern Africa Toastmasters has appointed a new director. Angie Kivido will be leading the non-profit educational organisation that empowers individuals to become more effective communicators and leaders. Angie Kivido joins me now in studio for a discussion on what changes we can expect from her. First up would be congratulations on making the cut.
Thank you so much, Hugo, and thank you for inviting us.
Now, you're the second woman from the Eastern Cape to be appointed CEO of Toastmasters Southern Africa. So that in itself must be exciting for you. But let's talk about what can we expect from this new broom that's about to sweep clean.
I think for me, it's not about the new broom. It's understanding that this year is an amazing year for Toastmasters Southern Africa. Because on the 1st of July 2024, we're embarking on a new journey. We're giving birth to a new district, and it all started here. For me, I want to reflect on the past, where we are, and preparing the leaders for the future as we grow Toastmasters and build more communicators and leaders that will enhance the leadership in Africa.
Well, let's talk about your Toastmasters journey. I think, from what I understand, it's run over a little over a decade. Yes. How did it start, and what progress, what key learnings have you come up with over the last 10 or so years?
Interesting thing, Hugo. I remember that day vaguely in April 2010 when the world was talking about World Cup. Port Elizabeth was hectic and everybody was just focused on the World Cup. But I came to a point in my professional career where I felt that I wasn't articulating my ideas correctly to my organization I worked for. That day, I mustered the courage and I went to a Toastmasters meeting, and I've never looked back. I went with a single idea of developing communication and articulating my thoughts better for professional growth. Well, just close to 13 years, I'm still a Toastmaster, and my initial wanting to join Toastmasters has changed because now I want to serve and give back what I received from Toastmasters.
Well, I suppose what's interesting is that you went in there for the solitary purpose of learning to speak or communicate your thoughts. You achieved that, obviously, at some point, I'd like to imagine, in the first couple of years. But you stayed on for much longer. Why?
I think this organization that is almost 99 years old, next year we'll be celebrating the centenary of Toastmasters, has impacted lives tremendously. I've met people that were unemployed, that became CEOs of companies. I've met people that really started their own businesses. I feel that as an organization, we are geared at developing individuals. And I would like to use this quote from Ralph Smedley, the founder of Toastmasters, where he actually says our organization, being Toastmasters, is the only organization I actually know that is dedicated to individuals. We kind of work together to bring out the best in each one of us. And then what do? We take what we learn from Toastmasters and we go and help others. And you know, others doesn't mean it's Toastmasters. Others actually refers to your family, community, your colleagues, and even your country.
Now, the one thing that is common in Toastmasters lingo is safe spaces, certainly for novice speakers or those that are learning to speak. Talk to us about that.
To do that, I'll give you an example of my own experience. The first time I attended a Toastmasters meeting, or a couple of times after that, they've got this thing called impromptu speaking, where you're invited to participate in a 1 to 2 minute conversation on any topic. I stood up, I looked at the topic, I literally didn't know what to say.
Do you remember what the topic was?
It was an obscure word that I had to explain. And I till this day, I don't know what the word was. And all I did was I stood up, looked at the word, and I sat down. And you know what the members of Toastmasters did? They applauded me. They applauded me for the courage for standing up. And I've got lots of stories where in contest I forgot my speech and they applauded me and said, come, let's try again. And that's the environment, a community of people that care enough that you grow as an individual. And I found that in Toastmasters.
Fantastic. So speaking is the one aspect, and there's also the other aspect, and that's leadership training and mentorship that you get within Toastmasters. How does that manifest?
So you get opportunities to participate in club executives. So each branch or each club of Toastmasters has to be administered and run to create opportunities for the individuals to create that safe environment. And as part of an executive, you can become a president, like a CEO. You can be part of learning and development or membership, or you can be the logistics manager for your club. And that's how it starts. And it starts on the club level, then you move to a broader level where more clubs are involved, up to where I am now, the CEO of Southern African Toastmasters, District Director.
So how does one gauge their progress when they're in a Toastmasters club?
Well, through feedback, Hugo, and participating in the education program. And an interesting thing about our education program, it started way back in 1905 when Ralph mainly had one thing, he had a problem, he had to solve it for young men that he was working with, wrote a small manual. Fast forward to 2023, we've got a digital online educational program. So you ask me, how do we measure? Is when people actively participate in those communication educational programs in Toastmasters that can help them to improve their abilities. For example, do you want to be a strategic leader? Do you want to learn dynamic leadership? Or do you want to be a visionary communicator? All of these things are encompassed in the education program, and our members are buying into it and investing in their personal development growth. So that's how you measure it, because every time you perform a level, complete a path, you get recognized, and by recognizing, they teach you and give feedback on how you can improve moving forward. So Toastmasters really gives you the feedback you need to help you to grow as that individual.
Now, we also know that courtesy of your skills, you're also involved in some community projects.
Yes.
And the Nelson Mandela Bay municipality. Talk to us about those.
So for me, I work in the local government sphere, and one of the strategic things is our communities specifically needs to get services from us. And the place that I work, you would say, I just want your money. But our approach is to ensure that the customers receive service on a practical level. So whatever services we as local government can provide to our clients, because they are the ones that need the services, that's what we need to do. From a community-based perspective, in the organization that I work with, I'm more on the customer services side and revenue side, and I try and work on strategies and programs and processes to help internal organization function well so that the service to the public is more effective. Okay,
so we've had this conversation coming back to 13 years of your involvement in Toastmasters and culminating in you being CEO of Southern African Toastmasters. So let's talk about the journey ahead. We talked about a new broom, sweep and clean, and obviously you're spearheading a project that you talked about. Give us some more insight into that and what Angie Kivido brings to the party, so to speak.
So for me, this year is all about legacy building. And as I reflect on my journey and the people that have come alongside me to help me grow as a communicator and a leader, this year is all about creating legacy builders within our Southern African Toastmasters environment. Why? Because with the anticipated birth of a new district, it's a big deal for us. Because then we give people more opportunities to participate in both leadership as well as communication opportunities across Southern Africa. During the past year, I've been involved with some of the countries that have really evolved. And I want to mention one specific one, the island of Madagascar. They started this year with one club when they joined Toastmasters. And at the moment, they're on 6 clubs.
Wow.
And 6 branches and still expanding. So we want to give every individual the opportunity to participate in the program, but not also participate, but get the value from the program. My mission is to ensure that every member in every club, in every area across our district gets the value that they signed up for, that they're investing in to their personal development growth. So that's my mission.
Now, we talked about the value that accrues to individuals that join Toastmasters. And one of the things that comes to mind is certainly is cultural development or issues around culture and the fact that you are looking after a number of countries in Southern Africa. So what are the values or the merits that accrue to anybody who is looking at being able to deal across cultures?
Interesting thing about this organization, Hugo, we're in 144 countries. We've got over 280,000 investors in the communication and leadership abilities. And you must remember, in 144 countries, you've got different languages, different cultures, different educational backgrounds, people that are employed, unemployed, self-employed, you name it, we've got it. What's the commonality is the Toastmasters educational program that we buy into. And the same program, which is known as Pathways, is actually represented across all those countries. No matter what language, what culture, what diversity that you find yourself in, Toastmasters embodies the learning of communication and leadership on that level. And we've got 4 core values in our organization, Hugo. That is integrity, respect, service, and excellence. And I think every culture and every nationality ascribes to those core values. And that's what makes us especially unique and adaptable in any country.
I'd imagine that the millions that are watching Newsfeed, the PM edition, have got their pens out and certainly tablets out or other devices wanting to find out how do they become members of Toastmasters.
So the easiest way to join Toastmasters is to look for a local Toastmasters club by going to toastmasters.org. Find a club and we will be happy to assist you. But if you are looking to join Toastmasters, you can actually just email me at districtdirector@toastmasters74.org and I will direct you to somebody that can assist you to get a club closest to you.
Angie Kivido, congratulations once again and thanks for speaking to us.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I'm looking forward to having more opportunities and also getting people to join this worthy organization. Thank you.